Every founder eventually hits the same wall. You've built the product. You're proud of it. And now you need people to know it exists. So you open your laptop, look up ad costs, and you stop because you have close to nothing to spend. Here's the truth nobody tells you in business school. Some of the most loved brands in the world didn't start with a marketing budget. They started with 0 rupees and an unfair amount of creativity. In the next few minutes, we're breaking down 9 marketing strategies that cost you nothing but time, consistency, and smart thinking. By the end of this video, you'll have an actual game plan, not theory, an actual plan to get your first customers without spending a single rupee on ads. Let's get into it. For decades, ad agencies and media companies have sold founders one idea: that growth equals spending. That if you want attention on your brand, you pay for them. And sure, money can buy attention. But here's what it can't always buy: trust. People don't trust ads the way they used to. What they trust is other people, creators, friends, communities, real stories. So when you strip marketing down to its core, it's really just 3 things: getting attention, building trust, and creating a path for people to take action. Paid ads are just one tool to get there. And honestly, often not even the best one for an early-stage startup. The strategies we're about to cover go after the same 3 things: attention, trust, distribution, using time and creativity instead of cash. Here's something counterintuitive. Having no budget can actually make your marketing better. When you can't pay for attention, you're forced to earn it. And earned attention is sticky. It builds an audience that actually cares, instead of one that scrolled past an ad for 2 seconds. Zero-budget marketing also teaches you something incredibly valuable early on: what your audience actually responds to. You learn this before you ever spend a single rupee on ads. So when you do eventually have a budget, you're not guessing. You already know what works. Constraint isn't your enemy here. It's your filter for what's actually worth doing. Before we jump into the strategies, let's set up the framework you'll keep coming back to. Every single zero-budget marketing tactic exists to do one of 3 jobs. First, attention, getting in front of people who don't know you exist yet. Second, trust. Once they see you, giving them a reason to believe you're legit and worth their time. And third, distribution, making it ridiculously easy for them to take the next step, whether that's following you, joining a wait list, or buying your product. As we go through each strategy, try to slot it into one of these 3 buckets in your head. By the end, you'll have a toolkit that covers your entire customer journey for free. Here's something most new founders get wrong: they hide behind their brand. They post polished product shots and corporate captions and wonder why nobody engages. But think about how you discover brands these days. It's usually through a founder sharing their journey, their struggles, their small wins. That's founder-led content, and it's one of the most powerful zero-cost marketing tools that exists. Start documenting, not creating, documenting. Talk about why you started, what problem you're solving, what you got wrong this week, what you learned. This builds something ads can never buy: a face people recognize and a story people root for. And when that founder eventually launches a product, their audience doesn't see an ad. They see a friend sharing something they built. Most startups try to build a product first and find customers second. Smart zero-budget founders flip that order. They build a community first and let the product grow out of it. Start a free group around the problem you're solving, not your product. If you're building something for college students managing money, start a group around smart money habits for students. Share tips, answer questions, start discussions. No selling, just value. Over time, this group becomes your test audience, your feedback loop, your first customers, and your loudest promoters, all before you've spent a rupee. The brands that win long-term aren't the ones with the biggest ad budgets. They're the ones with the most loyal rooms, full of people who feel like they belong. Building an audience from scratch takes time, but borrowing one, that can happen this week. Every category has creators, pages, and communities that already have the audience you're trying to reach. Your job is to offer them something valuable enough that they want to feature you for free. That could be a genuinely useful guest post, a free tool their audience would love, a collaboration that benefits both sides, or simply being a great guest on a podcast or live session because you bring real insight, not just a pitch. You can also team up with other early-stage startups that serve the same audience but aren't direct competitors and promote each other. Two small audiences combined can suddenly feel a lot bigger than either one alone. One of the fastest ways to get strangers to pay attention to your brand is to give them something useful before asking for anything in return. This is the free value method, and it works because it flips the usual relationship. Instead of buy from us, it's here, this is genuinely useful. Take it. That could be a free template, a checklist, a simple guide, or even a basic free tool that solves one annoying problem really well. The goal isn't to give away your entire product. It's to give a small taste of the value you create so good that people think if the free thing is this useful, imagine what the paid version looks like. This single move builds trust faster than almost anything else on this list, and it costs you nothing but time. Word of mouth feels random, like it just happens to lucky brands. But the truth is, word of mouth can be engineered. It starts with making your product or experience just a little more remarkable than expected. Not good enough, memorable enough that someone feels the urge to tell a friend about it. Then, make that sharing effortless. A simple referral link, a shareable result, tag a friend who needs this moment. And finally, reward people for spreading the word. And the reward doesn't have to be cash. Early access, exclusive content, a shout-out, a badge, a feature inside your community. These all work, especially with a younger audience that values recognition and belonging. When sharing is easy and rewarding, your existing users quietly become your unpaid marketing team. A lot of founders try to be everywhere, a little bit on every platform, and end up being memorable on none of them. The smarter move with zero budget? Pick one platform where your target audience already spends time and go all in on understanding how it works. Every platform rewards specific behaviors. Some prioritize watch time, some prioritize saves and shares, some reward comments and conversation. Study what's working in your category right now and reverse engineer the pattern. Then post consistently, not when you feel like it, but on a schedule, even if early views are low. Algorithms reward consistency because they're trying to figure out if you're a reliable source of content. Prove that to one platform really well, and it will start doing your marketing for you for free. PR sounds expensive, but at its core, PR is just one thing. Getting someone with an audience to talk about you because your story is genuinely interesting. Start by finding journalists, bloggers, or newsletter writers who cover your industry. Don't pitch your product, pitch your story. The why, the unusual journey, the problem you're obsessed with solving. Journalists need stories, not sales pitches, and a compelling founder story is far more interesting to them than a product announcement. On top of that, go to where your audience is already asking questions, forums, Q&A platforms, online communities, and genuinely help. Answer questions thoroughly. Mention your product only when it's truly relevant. Over time, you become a recognized, trusted voice in that space, and trusted voices get featured, quoted, and recommended, all without spending anything. Once you have even a handful of happy users, you're sitting on a marketing asset most founders ignore: user-generated content. People trust other people far more than they trust brands talking about themselves. So make it a habit. After someone has a great experience with your product, ask them for a quick review, a testimonial, or even just a few honest lines about what changed for them. Better yet, encourage them to create content using your product and tag you. Then showcase it. Repost it, feature it, give them credit. This does two things. It gives you genuine, trust-building content for free, and it makes that customer feel valued, which makes them even more loyal. A small but growing wall of real voices saying this actually worked for me is more persuasive than almost any ad copy you could write. With everything moving online, it's easy to forget that some of the most effective zero-budget marketing still happens offline. If your audience gathers somewhere physically, college fests, local markets, community events, meetups, that's free real estate for your brand. You don't need a big stall or a flashy setup. Sometimes it's as simple as a small table, a QR code, and a genuinely interesting demo that makes people stop and talk. You can also partner with local businesses that share your audience. A small shop, a cafe, a coaching center, and cross-promote each other to your respective customers. The goal isn't a massive campaign. It's creating small, real, talkable moments, the kind of thing someone mentions to a friend later that day, simply because it stood out. Now here's an important reality check. You do not need to do all 9 of these strategies at once. In fact, trying to do everything is one of the fastest ways to burn out and do all of it badly. Instead, apply the 80-20 rule. Pick the 2 or 3 strategies that fit your specific business best and go deep on those. If you're building a consumer product for a younger audience, founder-led content, community building, and user-generated content will likely do the heaviest lifting. If you're running a B2B or service-based business, free value content, forums, and borrowing other people's audiences tend to work better. And if your business is local or offline, word of mouth within your community will matter most. Focus on what fits your business, not what looks impressive on a slide. Before we wrap up, let's cover the mistakes that quietly destroys most zero-budget marketing efforts, so you can avoid every single one of them. Mistake 1. Spreading yourself across too many platforms, ending up mediocre everywhere instead of strong somewhere. Mistake 2. Inconsistency. Posting intensely for 2 weeks, seeing slow results, and quitting right before things would have picked up. Mistake 3. Selling too early, before you've built any trust, which makes people tune out immediately. Mistake 4. Ignoring your own data. If something is getting traction, even slightly, that's a signal. Don't ignore it chasing something shinier. And mistake 5. Copying the marketing style of big, funded brands. They're playing a completely different game with a completely different budget. Avoid these 5 traps, and you're already ahead of the vast majority of early-stage founders. Let's turn all of this into something you can actually start this week. A simple 30-day action plan. In week 1, pick the one platform your audience uses most and start posting founder-led content. Your journey, your why, your process. In week 2, launch a small free community around your category and create one genuinely useful free resource to attract people into it. In week 3, reach out to 5 creators or pages in your space for potential collaborations or cross-promotion. Even small accounts count. And in week 4, focus on your early users. Ask for honest reviews, encourage them to create content, and set up a simple way for them to refer others. None of these steps cost money, but done consistently week after week, they compound. And that compounding is where real, sustainable growth comes from. Here's the big takeaway from everything we covered today. Zero budget does not mean zero growth. It just means a different game. A game played with creativity instead of cash, consistency instead of campaigns, and trust instead of ad spend. Every strategy we talked about, founder content, community, borrowed audiences, free value, word of mouth, owning one platform, free PR, user-generated content, and showing up offline, all of them are completely free. The only real cost is your time and your willingness to show up consistently, even when nobody's watching yet. So here's your action item. Drop a comment below telling us which of these 9 strategies you're starting with this week. And if you found this useful, follow along, because we're breaking down exactly how to build, market, and grow a startup from absolute zero, one practical video at a time. If this video gave you even one idea you can actually use, that's exactly what this channel is built for. Every week, we break down business strategy, startup growth, and personal finance. The kind of practical, real-world knowledge that traditional education somehow never gets around to teaching. No fluff, no jargon for the sake of sounding smart. Just frameworks and ideas you can actually apply. So if you want to keep building your financial and business knowledge, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. This is the education we wish we had, and now it's right here completely free.